device to do the presentation. So now from whatever device you're going to score with, you're going to log in with your scoring credential, and you are going to hit either start scoring or you're going to set your lineup first. I'm going to show you both options so you can see. So if I go ahead and hit set my lineup, my team lineup, it's going to bring me to my lineup page. If I click set my lineup, it's going to bring me to my lineup. Okay. And you'll notice here it says drag players above this line to set lineup. So if you just kind of touch and drag the players up and down, above that black line puts them in the lineup. Below the black line puts them out of the lineup. If you're using an Apple device to score with, you can kind of touch anywhere on the bar from John Jones sub and the position, the EHEP, to slide them up and down. If you're using a Android device, that little menu icon that you see here on the left-hand side, there'll be a menu icon on an Android device, and you can only scroll up and down from the menu icon on an Android device. But slide above that line, put as many players as you want in the lineup as you want, but there's no restrictions in batting, so you can put as many as you want in here. To do positions, you basically just click on the position, and all your position options are here. And you can come in pretty simply, add the positions. If you want to add the positions once the game starts, you can do that as well. You could just do the lineup and then add the positions from the field. You kind of have all the different options. I'm just going to go through real fast and add these, so it kind of shows you what it looks like. Catch up. And this is going to be so we have all the different options down here. So whether you're playing in a tournament that's a DP, DH, EP, whatever you want to call that person, it's just not going to really matter. It's basically a batter that's not in the field, right? So I'm going to put DH. I'm going to update that person. And let's say your pitcher here is not batting, but they're pitching. Okay. So if they're pitcher only, they're not batting. If I click on the number 10, I click on that number 10, it's asking me to sure you want to make them a defensive only player. I say yes. Now that player is defensive only. They're not in the batting order, but you are putting them in their position when you set the lineup. If they're listed as a defensive only and you don't want them to be defensive only, just click on defensive only and set my batting order to 10. And now I put them back in the lineup. So you could do either or. Okay. Once you're done, you would click to save the lineup. If you have a player that's not on the roster and you don't have time to go back to the roster to add them, you can just add them quickly here. Okay, by the jersey number, last name, first name. You do not want to add team members this way because you need to set them up in your team member page. So when you go back to your team member page, they'll probably be listed there with just a jersey number, last name, first name. You want to make sure you put an email there. Otherwise, they're not going to have a connection. A parent's not going to be able to access the games, or the athlete's not going to. It's not going to load to an athlete's account if a parent purchases pass. So you want to make sure that they're set up properly on the team member page. You're not just adding players here. This is not a good way to do it. We do allow you to do this because we know, if the game just started, and you realize, oh my God, they picked up a player, you don't have time to go back. So we allow you to add it here, and then you can go back to your team member page and edit that team member page and put the rest of the information in. Okay, I'm going to cancel that. But I'm going to save my lineup. And I'm going to do set opponents lineup. Same thing. It's going to have everything here. So it will, the one thing it will do too for your team is the next game you play, whatever your your lineup was for your previous game, it puts that lineup out there to start the next game. So if you are batting and have the same lineup roughly, and there's only a couple of changes, it does make it easier. You don't have to do this every single time. So same thing, you would put all the players above. Now, if I try to take, one thing that's important, if I try to take my defensive only pitcher, and let's say he's batting first leadoff, if I try to put him leadoff, he's automatically going to go to the ground because he's not in the batting order. So in order for me to move him up, I first have to put him in the batting order, and then I can slide him up. That's why he won't slide up. So it's something that happens all the time. So Again, slide them above the order. If they're in the lineup, slide them below the line. If they're not in the lineup, pretty simple, pretty basic, right? I'm not going to put the positions here. I'm going to just save the lineup real fast so I can show you some other stuff. Back on this lineup page here, if I know who the home team is, the coin flip, we're home, then I can select it. If you're not sure, don't do it here. Just do it at the start of the game. It's easy to do. It will prompt you at the start of the game. If you're playing in a time limit game, the time limit here is only for the fan watching. It puts a clock on the video. That's all that's for. So nothing else for that at all. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start scoring. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the baseball right here to start the game. And the first thing it's going to ask me is who's batting first. Select batting team. So the Mystics are batting first. And I just want to show you, because I did not put players in the field, I didn't do the player positions except the pitcher. It just puts a placement player in the field, and then I can change them. So the couple ways to change them, I can click on the fielder. So if I click on the shortstop, I can say, John is the shortstop there, and it will automatically put him there. So I can do my defensive changes this way, or I can go to my substitutions or opponent substitutions page, and I can do them under the lineup change right here. I can do them all at the same time if I wanted to. That makes sense? So super simple. I update that, and it's gonna add the ones that I put there. Okay. The batter's up right now. Obviously, as soon as you start the game, the clock starts. So as soon as you hit that baseball the first time, you should be doing that on the first pitch. As soon as the first pitch happens, that's when the clock starts. And the person who's doing the scorekeeping always has the clock here. A couple of the things on here that we have. So this little TV icon, it allows the scorekeeper to see the camera view. So if I click on that, obviously we're not streaming right now, but it's going to pull up that video, and it says I'm unable to play the video. If that comes up, that means you're not streaming. So obviously if a foul ball hits the fence or something, and you want to just check to make sure that the view is still good, you don't have to always get up and check it. You can actually just check it by clicking on that screen right here. We do have an end inning button. So if you have some of the younger age groups, after they score 5 or 6 runs, they switch sides, even though they don't have 2 outs. This allows you to end the inning. We have a skip batter button. So if you're doing like a showcase format or something where you just want to skip different batters to different batters, you could skip. We even have a repeat batter. This RB button here is to repeat the batter. Sometimes in a showcase, kid gets hit by a pitch, college coach or scout sitting behind home plate, they want to see the kid bat again. So they put someone at first base and they let the kid bat again. And, I'll just kind of show you that. So I'm going to do hit by pitch, puts the runner at first base. If I click on the person on first, well, I'm going to do that. Sorry. If I click on the RB button right here, and it's asking me who am I putting on first, I'm going to say Mike Myers is going to first, and then Michaels is batting again, and it keeps my lineup intact. So that's what this just kind of a showcase format kind of functionality. So super simple, super easy. Obviously, that you're choosing your pitch result. If you're using this screen right here, scroll. So if you're using a real small device, you may have to scroll up and down to see some of the other functionality. But, obviously strike swinging, ball, foul ball, hit by pitch, out of the batter's box, balk, drop third strike out, drop third strike reached, intentional walk, catcher's interference. So it's pretty much anything you'd want. Anytime you make a mistake, we do have an undo button. Just hit that undo button and it will undo the play. So if I do strike looking and our next pitch is a ball and they appeal to the umpire and they said he went, I can hit undo and you can see it takes the ball off, and now I can say strike swinging. So you have the ability to undo. You can undo as many times as you need to. Just make sure that you're kind of doing a little bit of a tutorial when you do this. So once you do ball and play, obviously the play type ground ball, fly ball, line drive, pop fly, bunt. So I'm going to do fly ball. I'm going to hit out. And now I just have to pick on where it went. Obviously, if there's a double play, I can click on double play, and then I'm just clicking on the fielders involved in that double play. But I'm just going to say it's a fly ball out. I'm going to click on the right fielder. It will highlight the right fielder. and then I hit the submit button in the bottom right-hand corner, and I'm ready for my next pitch. If nothing else can happen on the play, it will automatically submit. So I'm gonna give you an example of I'm gonna do ball and play. And if you notice, I don't move the players. So currently right now, we don't slide the players. We are in the process of adding spray charts. It's probably one of the only features that we don't have available today. And we're looking to have spray charts by fourth quarter this year. Once we have spray charts, you will be moving the player to where the ball actually went. So I'm going to do line drive, home run. And for a home run, obviously, because we're not dragging where the ball went, just click on the outfielder that was closest to the home run. So if he pulled it down the left field line, I'm just going to hit the left fielder. And you see there, nothing else can happen after the home run. So it automatically submitted the play and it's ready for my next pitch. And the 2 runs scored up at the top of the screen. So pretty simple, pretty basic. Ball and play, ground ball, out. I'm going to click on the shortstop. I'm going to click on the first baseman, and then it automatically submits it. So 6-3, and it automatically submitted it. You can always go back and look at the box score. Bottom left-hand corner, we have a box score button. So you have the ability to go back and check the box score. At the end of the game, if you see that you made a mistake or something, you do have the ability to go back in and edit the score or actually edit the stats. So if you do need to do that at the end of the game, and I'll show you where to do that at the end of the game. Pretty simple, pretty basic. The couple really important parts. It's only going to move the runner 1 extra base. I'm going to do ball and play, line drive, single, center field. Click on the center fielder, automatically submits it. Now I do ball and play, line drive, single, and I click on right field, right? Something else going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the runner at second base. And I'm going to say advanced on, here are all your runner options, right? So advanced on stolen base, out caught stealing, advanced on pass ball, advanced on wild pitch, advanced on defensive indifference, advanced on error, advances, out, runner picked off, did not advance, substitution, courtesy runner, out, runner out, interference. So ball, line drive hits the runner's out, right? So I'm going to do advanced on defensive indifference, and then it will move that runner to third, and then I hit submit. So it's ready for the next play. We also don't assume an out on a fielder's choice. Great example is, they hit a ground ball to third. Third baseman looks the runner back, and for whatever reason, the player was safe at first. Or they threw home to get the runner at ground ball to short. Shortstop throws home to get the runner at home. Runner's safe at home. It's not a hit. Obviously, the scorekeeper can call it whatever they want, but technically, that shortstop had a pretty simple out at first base. If he wanted it, he opted to try and get the runner at home. He didn't get the runner, so it's the fielder's choice. So if I do ball and play, I'm going to do that scenario here. Ground ball, fielder's choice. And I click on shortstop and the catcher, and that run's going to score if I click submit. So I'm going to click submit, and now that run scored. So even though it was a fielder's choice, the run scored because the shortstop tried to get him at home. So simple things. Now, if a runner didn't advance, this is where I'm going to show you here. Advanced on stolen base. Oops. Pitch was the ball. So it auto submits it. So this is important. So if I do, let's say they look the runner back in, a really fast runner. They look the runner back too long and then they go to first. So I do ball and play, ground ball, fielders, or even reached on an error, right? So if I do reached on an error, but the runner from third didn't come home, they stayed at third base, I have to click on the third bit. I have to click on the runner at home and type did not advance. So I go down to did not advance, click did not advance, and it puts them back. You know, and then I put the error on the shortstop and I click submit. So some of those are the little nuances that you just need to do a little bit of practicing to make sure you're comfortable with the scorekeeping. And it takes doing a practice game or two. So I'm going to do ball and play, pop fly, out, the catcher, submit. That's 3 outs, and it automatically switches sides. Okay. If you need to do, and I'm going to click on, but for both teams, it's the same. So at the very bottom, I'm going to click on my substitution. Okay. So for my substitution, I can do lineup changes. So if I messed up the lineup, I could fix it. If I just need to do a defensive changes and I don't want to do them from the field, I can click on the fielders and do them. But let's say I want to do them all at once. You can basically come in here and click on the defensive changes and make all the changes at once and then save it. And then you don't have to, you don't have to do them one at a time. You can do them all at the same time by doing it this way. If you have a bunch of defensive changes, if you're doing a substitution, you can do the substitution from here. Okay. You can also do the substitution from the field. So if I click on the first baseman right now, Michaels, right? You know, my option is defensive substitution for position, and then I choose the player that's going in. So I'm going to say Paul Davis is going in at first, and I can do a defensive only change, or it's actually a substitution. So batting for this player. And I do add, and now the change has been made. So you can do the substitutions from here, or you could do the substitutions from my substitutions or opponent substitutions page, whatever's easier. Same thing with the batter. If I click on the batter, the Burley, number 24, it gives basically, it now grabs that batter, and then I'm basically putting who's going in for them. So I'm going to say Chase Stokes. Are you sure you want to make this substitution? Okay. And boom, now Stokes is batting. So I've done a substitution there. So you could do it all from here. If you want to go to the substitution pages, you can. If you're doing multiple at the same time. So we kind of give you the option to do it either way. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Same thing, pitching substitutions. I can click on the pitcher, and this is a defensive only change. So the pitcher's coming in and only play defense. So Jimmy Bates is coming in to pitch, but it's defensive only. Now Bates is in the pitcher spot. So we try to make this pretty simple, pretty basic. So not a whole lot of complexity to it. Again, if you make a mistake, hit the undo button. If you need to hit the box score, in particular, you're trying to get pitch counts, right? We have number of pitches thrown here. NP is 12. So we do have the pitch count capabilities. If you need to go back and look at the pitch count anytime, you can go in and look at pitch counts on the box score. Obviously on the screen, it's telling you who's batting. That's the leadoff batter. At bat is number 2, Stokes. And on deck is number 46, Matullo. So you know who's on deck, you know who's at bat, and you know where you are in the batting order. Again, the clock is always there for you. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. So ball and play, bunt. You have sacrifice, obviously all the different options here, right? Out. So I'm going to click on the pitcher and the first baseman, and then it auto submits. So strike swinging, strike looking, strike swinging, automatically out. Next batter's out, waiting for the next pitch. So it moves pretty quick, pretty simple. And for ITB, for international tiebreak, we basically do our international tiebreak from my substitutions. You come on international tiebreak and you put the player on the base by choosing the player. Pretty simple, pretty basic. You also can do courtesy runners from here. But you can also click on the player on the base and do your courtesy runners from there. By doing a courtesy runner and then picking the runner that's going in for them, and it automatically makes that change with the courtesy runner. And then you'll see right here 44 for 26. So it's letting you know on the screen under end inning who went in as a courtesy runner. 44 went in for 26. So everything's pretty much on the screen for you to be able to utilize. So I'm going to go ahead and end this game real fast. Once you end this game, it's important that you end the game when it's over. Don't end it beforehand, but when you end the game, it archives that game. So if you don't end the game, nobody can go back and watch it archived. Can't pull clips, can't do anything until that game is archived. If you accidentally archive a game and weren't supposed to, right? You'd have to click end game and you'd have to click OK. You can go back and restore the game to an active game if you need to. So I'm going to click OK. And then the only other thing I want to show you is I'm going to schedule another game real fast. And this game right here, I'm not going to set lineups because I just want to show you, and I'm going to put in Team Canada, so a team that's not in our system. And I'm going to say this is a pool game. And I'm going to just add that scheduled game. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to the home screen and I'm going to show you the team lineup. So I'm just going to hit start scoring. I'm not going to have the lineups. When you do that, it's going to say, hey, do you want to add the lineups during the game? Or do you want to add the lineups now? And I'm just going to say, hey, I want to add the lineups during the game. And it's going to bring me into the team. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go ahead and I'm ready to start the game. So two things. Now, if someone handed you the lineup before the game starts and you want to go and add it, you can from my substitutions, right? That lineup change where the black line is, I would just scroll and put them above that black line and then put them in positions and save them. Okay, I'm not going to do that because I want to show you. So if I click on this softball, the baseball, it's asking me who's batting first. So I'm going to hit the Mystics. Smith are batting first. And what it's going to do is it's now going to prompt me who's the first batter. And I'm going to come in here and say Mike Myers is my leadoff hitter. I'm going to add him. And now I'm batting Mike. The defensive players, the same thing. They put in the players. So this was a team that's not an Athletes Go Live system. So it's just going to have player 1, player 2, player 3. If you want to put in their first name and last name, you can. All you do is click on the player and it's first name, last name. But if I just want to put their proper jersey number, so this is number 33. Now it's just going to have number 33. But if I wanted to put in, I had, this is, last name is Brown. First initial is S. So I can do that as well. So you can do it any way you want from that perspective and put those people in. Okay. I'm not going to save that because I just want to show you the different options for the same thing. And what's going to happen is ball and play, line drive, single. I forgot to put the fielder. It helps you if you make a mistake for the most part. So forgot to put the fielder, so it's telling me I need to add a fielder. As soon as that plays over, it's asking me who my number 2 batter is. And it's going to keep doing this. And I'm going to do this a bunch of times until I get to 9. Kind of show you real fast. I'll do it fast. So we're in the pitch. Once you get to that 9th batter, it is going to prompt you, by pitch. This is my 9th batter. So 9th batter hit by pitch. Now it's going to ask me, is my lineup complete? So after 9 batters, it's going to ask you, is your lineup complete? And then if you say add player, you're going to add a 10th batter to your lineup. And then it's going to ask you again, is your lineup complete? I can add an 11th batter to my lineup. Once you put lineup complete lineup, the leadoff hitter comes back up, Myers. So that's how you basically add players. I just wanted to show you that kind of functionality as well. So appreciate you taking the time to go through the tutorial. The only other thing I do want to show you, I'm actually going to show you one other thing. Once a game is archived, go to your archive game, and this is where you can edit your score and you can restore it. And you can also, as a coach, go watch that game back. And if it's a practice game that you're just practicing, you can delete that game and all those stats will be deleted if you delete that game. So you can do like 1 or 2 practice games, kind of like just what I did with you, and then you can delete those. If I click edit box score, I can just update the score box if I want to. So I made a mistake and the score is really 3-1. So I can update this and say the score is really 3-1. I don't feel like updating all the stats for the other team. So it was just 3-1 and I want to put it in there. I can make that change. If I'm changing a player, so I'm going to come in here and say, update stats. I got 3 plate appearances, 2 at bats, right? So if I said, something, that was one of those was a hit. So we're going to give them a hit. And we update that. So now it's going to show the 1 hit that they had. So you have the ability to go in there. If you messed up on the pitcher and Jimmy Bates didn't pitch the whole game, some other pitcher came in, but you forgot to make that substitution, you can go back into Jimmy Bates and click add a player. And then you can basically come in and say, I'm going to add Cody Miller. And then I click on Cody Miller and I'm going to update the stats. And I'm going to say, I need to update pitching stats. You can't update the innings pitched. You have to update the outs. So if he pitched the last inning, I'm going to put 3 outs. And then I click done and then I update and then it would show the 1 inning that he pitched. Obviously I can put whatever other stats in here. The other thing you have access to when you click watch is you have, you can view the lineups, the box score, and you can even view the written play-by-play. So we have all the written play-by-play. So you have to go back and check something before you update the stat. You do have the ability to go look at the written play-by-play. So, well, I appreciate you taking the time to join this scoring tutorial. And like I said, we do have support. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us, either our support or we have some specialists that are more than willing to assist you as well. Thank you.